Howdy, Matthew Pizgatti back again, talking about DRIP and the DRIP BUSD garden and animal farm and all those good things in that ecosystem. Now, it looks like DRIP is back on a decline after this little bump that we had. Now, I've said that in a number of previous videos that selfishly, I would like us to get back down to where a lot of those earlier whales entered in at, which was, well, all around this support area here. So what are we looking at? We're looking at 20s. We're looking at 19. Anywhere in this pathway, 21, horizontal, a good bit around 20, 21. I see a lot more support historically over time in the chart than I do in these areas here where everyone thought we were going to hover around this 55. Now, interestingly enough, that is where we came back up to the other day. We had dropped down to, right around 45 and got all the way up to 55. And it had some good, horizontal movement there as well, and then we started declining again. But you can see there was actually a large number of buys in that area, and just based on volume, I don't think they all sold out. So that's a lot of people who rode that up and have a lot of faith in DRIP. They thought that was a good entry point, and I didn't disagree. I bought in some as well. And that's what I keep saying about this project and a lot of these ecosystems, these like networks of different protocols that the developer is joining together to create more utility and use for their token, is that, 2 points. One, we always got to zoom out. We got to look at the full chart, see where we are, look where we started from, look where we are now. And then, besides that, do we have long-term faith in these protocols? Do we like the developer? Do we like the updates that are coming along? Do we like the new partnerships that are being announced? And do we think that'll drive the price up? No one has the crystal ball. We can't, I can pull out my tarot cards, but I don't know that DRIP is going to 100% go back up to where it was. But I don't think we're just falling to zero and everyone's abandoning the project. I don't see that happening. I do see more partnerships coming out, and I know that they will after this fix for Animal Farm. I'm pretty confident that we're going to get some cool new things that will help push us along and get that price back up. But what does that mean? Right now, while we're on a dip, what are you seeing? You're seeing your estimated USDT within the faucet. You're seeing that estimation being lower. You're probably glancing at your garden if you're in the drip garden, and you're seeing your daily kind of steady or going down. You're seeing this asset balance going down, because plants become worth less at a more increasing rate based on the DRIP BUSD. When DRIP goes down, this price goes down, and it affects everything. I'm still getting a gain on LP. Some of this is from referrals, but we did prove that during the time frame that we were hovering there around that, what did I say, 55? When we came back up around that 55 area and we had that horizontal movement, we did prove over those couple days that, I think it was right around here, the drip garden does come back up. You can gain LP every day and beat the decay with a good drip price. So if drip is horizontal and the contract balance is doing well in the garden, you're still going to make money over time and get some cool payouts if you've been compounding the whole time, diligently up to that point. So drip's on a dip, and it's going to continue down, it looks like. We're heading back downward again, and then when there's another opportune floor that someone really likes, we're going to see another big buy-in, and I think that's going to keep happening. People are going to keep jumping in at those more optimal prices. I bought some around that 55 area because I had already bought some at the all-time high, and I wanted to dollar cost average down. So I did take that chance and do some of those DCA type buys just to get my average per drip down. But if it keeps falling, especially if we hit like 30s, 20s range, I think there's going to be a lot of people jumping on that because they know the value this can have over the long term when we get back up to any of these points, right? Look at this rocketing upward. We had some pretty steady areas around 60s. Maybe that would be more of a good horizontal movement for it. Maybe we'll get back up to 60s. Maybe we'll hit these 80s. But maybe we'll have another rocket boost all the way up. So you can never tell when things are on a rise. It kind of snowballs either direction. Right now we're seeing a lot of sales because there's some of that panic selling. There's some people still moving more into the animal farm side when they weren't already, especially after this Piggy Bank launches. Once we get version 2 launched, I think we'll see. I think we're going to see some of that downward decline still for a while. I mean, we've been saying that for the last month, though, right? That we'd expect that into April, maybe a little bit into May, but we're thinking. I think the consensus out of those that are bullish on DRIP, that's why I say we, I think a lot of the consensus is that after that point, we'll be heading back upwards. I don't think there's anything wrong with the protocol. That's what we have to keep thinking about, is that you see these sell-offs, you see people selling and maxing out their wallets because they were the bigger whales early on. Is there a problem with the actual protocol, or are they selling out because others are selling and they see the price fall? It's just a reverse version of the fear of missing out, right? The whole FOMO thing. It's a fear of missing out both directions. If everyone starts selling, you're afraid you're going to be caught on the bottom. So you sell out. A lot of people do that. But if you like where the project is going, then you don't do that. And a lot of times you get lucky and you can ride it back up. So that's where I'm at. That's what I'm looking forward to. But, everyone has to kind of look at this from their own perspective and decide if they think it's a good idea or not, to stay in, to not stay in. Are they making money? Or if they're not, do they think they're going to in the future? All those things. That's part of doing your own research and deciding for yourself. No one can make that decision for you, but I like where DRIP's going. I want it to drop down to like 20 or 14 again so I can just load up on it, because I certainly would. And I think a lot of people would, because they've seen the success over the last year or so. And I think that in turn, when we get those higher rates, those of us who even started small in the garden but have been holding on and compounding rapidly will be really rewarded for that, if my thinking is correct, if this does go back up the way we'd like it to. So that's my hot take on DRIP. I think we'll head back upward, but as I have predicted in the past, we may still hit these lower ranges, and I don't see anything wrong with that. This may actually be a relatively, maybe, at least at that time, that was a pretty healthy range for DRIP. It looks like it really wasn't fluctuating all that much. And then we just hit these huge boosters, and that's pretty sweet. I hope we kind of repeat history and have that happen again. So that's what I'm looking at. I see you go on any of these sites, and you see just constant negativity where it's like, oh, the project's dead, oh, the protocol, whatever, and it's like nothing's changed with any of that. I don't see any huge warning signs that say the project's dead just because the price is lowering, right? Because the developer's still being communicative, even though we'd like him to communicate more. He's still posting updates. He's obviously hard at work on whatever the thing he's doing related to Piggy Bank to get that fixed. And then that'll launch this week. Hopefully there's no more hiccups there. And then, as he said, his attention will turn more to DRIP and all the other new partnerships that are coming along. So that doesn't sound like a project that's just being abandoned to me, and it doesn't sound like a scam or anything like that. I see a lot of negativity indicating those things, and there's just no basis. There's no base for what they're saying. It doesn't make sense, and I just would ignore most of the negativity in that range. Unless someone comes at you with some valid evidence one way or the other that says, hey, here's why this guy's scamming us, or here's some flaw in the code I found that shows the protocol is going to be wrecked. Just, without those types of things, it's just people spreading that fear, the uncertainty, the doubt, the fudding, because they either are part of other projects they'd rather your money be in, or, they're part of one of those teams, or they're shilling something completely different they'd like you to put your money in. And just all these types of reasons for them to, lack of a better word, just crap on other projects. And that doesn't make sense to me. I have thrown, I suppose, that type of negativity on one other project, which was Splassive, just because there are actual indications that it's not a new original project because of how blatant it was a copy of from DRIP. that gives me a lot of distrust in it. And so if you have those types of valid concerns about the DRIP network, those I think people want to hear. What are your valid concerns? Does it make you uneasy because X, Y, Z? Why or why not do you like the dev? All those things matter because sentiment does matter in this game. But if you just say that a project's a scam or what have you because the price is going down, I think that's pretty ridiculous. I don't think that's right to say, unless you can go find in the contract somewhere, like, show me that it's the dev or it's like one wallet and he's just like draining everybody's money like that. Sure, that'd be a worry if that were happening. But no, I think it's just people selling off some of their profits to get into other projects and waiting for a more opportune price to buy back in. Some people are just buying the token and then sell them at that point and then drop this down some more. But some people are buying every step along the way down to average their price down, and they're going to ride that thing all the way back up and compound. Just because we've seen the previous success. Unless there's something wrong with the actual protocol, we've seen this protocol make people thousands. We've seen them making a million. So that can happen depending on when you get in, how much you pay for it. Ride it up, make sure you're compounding, rehydrating on a good schedule, and then you start claiming when it seems right to do that, and we just roll with it, and we see where we end up. As always, not financial advice. I can't tell you what to do with your funds. We may, all of us who are in this, get completely wrecked tomorrow and lose all our money, some unforeseen, crazy, what have you. We don't know. We can't predict that, right? And that's not what I'm trying to do. But for me personally, I am making that prediction that it's going to go back up. That's why I'm in the project, because I have enough faith in this protocol to think that it will. And I'm making these videos. That's part of me putting that down, saying I think this is going to happen. That doesn't mean it's going to. Doesn't mean I'm 100% right. But we'll see. We will see who gets kind of vindicated and proven right after, I don't know, let's give it 3, 4, 5 months. And somebody's going to either there's going to be a lot of unhappy people, or we're going to be a lot of very happy people. And I hope it is the latter. But all right, guys, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I know it's actually a good bit of rambling. This is just a personal log of what I'm doing and why. So it's good to have this as a reference. If you find it any way, shape, or form entertaining or enriching for your journey as well, I'd love for you to like and subscribe. That helps me out a lot, kind of know who all is here. Other than that, you guys have a great one, and I'll see you on the next video.